That. No, not you, Jamie. That. Today, I'm making pizza. Now, pizza is something I've been doing for a long time, and only these past few years I've sort of mastered the science of it. So, a little bit different from a beer brewing video. I'm going to make a pizza and teach you how to make top class pizzas in your own house. So, as you see, this is the recipe. This is the only, sorry Jimmy, but this is the only way I've used your book so far, and that's just to scribble on my pizza recipe. So this is my tried and tested recipe for making dough. Been doing it for years and modifying it and improving it, and yeah, basically the game changed one day when I got Mr. Ferrari over here. This is the G3 Ferrari pizza oven. It's great, really hot oven, makes perfect pizzas, very happy. So it's a brief introduction. This is probably one of the most important things for making good Neapolitan pizza. This is the pizza where you stretch it, it rises, massive crust, so good. But you're looking for type 00 flour. And this is important because you won't be able to stretch or manipulate the dough very well without using this. So in there I've got a kilo, I've got 1.5 cups of water, or 1.75 cups of water, that's about 420 milliliters of water. 1.5 tablespoons of salt. Now with the salt, basically when you put the dough in, you make a hole in the middle. Salt goes around the outside. Then 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1.75 cups of water in the middle, and I forgot sugar, so I'm gonna put sugar in a minute. Usually I use sugar in here to activate the yeast, but it's fresh yeast, baker's yeast. This here, so a little bit of baker's yeast, focus, goes a long way, and it's just really squidgy, fresh yeast, none of this dry yeast crap. Yeah, a little goes a long way. You'll see the end result later. And yeah, I put half in there. I think that's too much, but I will. Yeah. So I need to add sugar. I'm just gonna wing this, boys and girls. That's what. Very scientifically, about half a hand of sugar. But that's, yeah, just to get things moving along. And then we're going to add the yeast. Now, you don't want to mix the salt and the yeast as much as possible, because if you get that direct contact, it will hinder the yeast. So try to stir it into the main flour before getting there. And just stir it in. You will notice, if you follow exactly the same recipe every time, humidity does come into play. So on a warm, hot, humid summer's day, sometimes it's very difficult to get a nice dry pizza base. So just spoon out as much as possible onto your deck, and don't bother washing this, you're going to use it again later for the first rise. Definitely going to need more flour today, so it's quite a wet pizza dough. That's not a problem, it just takes a lot longer to knead. Get it back up to it. Alright. This is not kneading, this is just drying it up a bit, soaking up more flour. just to get it into some way you can work, because you can see now it sticks to my hands, which is not the way it should be. It should be light, springy, ready to enjoy its life being a pizza. And it helps a lot to have a nice work top like this. Though it's not proper marble, it does the job. It's starting to feel a lot more like she wants to have some fun. Dirty dough. There we go. What I recommend before you really begin the kneading process is always have dry, clean hands. So get all that dough off. You don't want that sticking, because it will just stick to your dough the whole time. Yeah, now she's starting to work. So now we're going to need kneading. Yeah, a couple of types of kneading. You have the good old-fashioned in and push. Personally, I prefer the crossover. So grab, push, or you can use both hands for it as well. So in, slow motion. I'm going to knead like this now for probably 15 minutes. Nice to have some music, but my internet's not working. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a massive dough ball. You're going to fold it, press it, fold it, press it on top, and then tuck everything nicely inside. And this outer skin will begin to stretch. That will keep everything nice and tight. Nice big squeeze. That's it. Put it back in your bowl. Cover it up. We'll come back to this in half an hour. So the next job is we're going to peel our tomatoes. So these tomatoes were very kindly donated by my friend's wife, who's also my friend. She's growing these in her garden. So this is a proper craft pizza where I've got extra craftness from Beauty. So thanks very much. We got to peel our tomatoes. Or not peel, core them. So I forget what's the best way. Usually I cut it. You get the skin like that. So take out the core. And goes the rest. Oh, they smell delicious. So this is going to take a while. I'll get back to you when something exciting happens. Cooked tomatoes are not necessary. You can get away with some tinned tomatoes, some passata, and a little bit of puree. But the difference in the taste of organic, freshly cut tomatoes in your pasta sauce cannot be compared with something you can buy in a can. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil. Tomatoes are on a medium heat. I have it now on gas Mark 5, induction Mark 5. So cooking at half, but I'm going to step that up to 6 now. Just let them stew for 20 minutes. They'll cook down, and then we'll get back to you. So it's been about 10 minutes. The tomatoes are boiling away nicely, and yeah, when you open the lid, kill the heat, because they're spitters. They'll spit all over you. What I'm going to do at this moment is add a little bit of sugar. Again, just a little pinch. Sprinkle that in. That will begin the caramelization process, or speed it up at least. And you'll get all those nice sugars out of the tomatoes. So just stir that in. And I'll cook it for another 5 minutes. Enough to peel a few onions. And then when that's ready, I'm going to blitz. In the meantime, while you're waiting for your dough to rise, get busy, start prepping your ingredients. I have to point out that although this is not a beer brewing video per se, there are a lot of similarities between cooking pizza and brewing beer. For example, mashing. Time to mash. Oh, that's amazing. You also have fermentation. My yeast is working away nicely. We've got grain, we've got water, we've got yeast. We're just missing the hops, and I think basil. That goes into some beers sometimes. So basically, we have all the ingredients here for a beer. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to start to make the sauce. Now, when I was a younger pizza engineer, I used to get very complicated. I used to add onions, basil, garlic, all these different flavors to my sauce. But it doesn't work. And why? Well, say you have a different type of pizza. If you have just salami pizza, then a really rich onion, basil, beautiful sauce is perfect. But if you're making a Hawaiian, somebody wants a Hawaiian at a party, and you've got this sauce with pineapple and ham, it does not go. Or if you want a banana pizza, banana pizzas are awesome, by the way, you should check that out. And mashed potato pizzas, but you don't need sauce for that. Just mashed potato, lots of salt, lots of olive oil, some mozzarella on top. Oh, top pizza. Oh, I should make some of that for today. Damn it. It's a good idea. Oh, I should get some bananas as well. Yeah, I'm going to a party. Let's party. Anyway, so just keep the sauce simple. That's all I say. Just tomatoes. Though I'm thinking maybe a bit of garlic, because when else am I going to put in some garlic? I'm going to put in some garlic. Garlic and pineapple. It works. It works. Trust me. Trust me on that. What is my bed? So remember, you're dealing with boiling liquids. Be careful when you're doing this. But that's it. That is the base of the sauce. We got our puree. So we have here organic biologische tomato puree. Tomaten puree. Organic puree. Come on. Costs 10 cents more. Don't be so cheap. We all know organic tastes better. Anyway, So just going to stir this in. Oh, smells lekker. We're going to turn the heat back on, and this is going to cook slowly for a couple of hours. An hour maybe. What I also have for my sauce is passata, and normally I add a little bit of this. So, add a little bit in, and yeah, I don't think you need more than a splash. I bought 2 today for some reason, I don't know why. But you can see now that it's going from that lovely orange colour to a dark orange colour, and by the end of the day it'll be red. So what else do we need? Salt. Pinch. Enough. Got a lot of salt in the base, so you don't need to really salt your sauce. Base will take care of the saltiness of your food. But just in case you want to make a pasta or something with the leftover sauce. Balsamico. I usually just use 2 droppies, but the flavour from the balsamic will disappear. 2 caps. And we're going to add one later, just before we take it off the heat and put it into a bucket or a Tupperware. But that is looking lovely. For the remainder of this cook, you're going to want to not use the saucepan lid, because you can't get the evaporation. So what I use normally is a little gauze, and this is perfect. It doesn't let the splashes through and hit you in the eye, so you're good to go. So quick close up of the sauce. You can see it's a nice red color. It's actually a lot more orange in reality. This phone doesn't do the sauce justice, but yeah, just strew it now over a medium heat again. Put that up to 5, and yeah, we'll get back to that in about an hour when she's ready. But on the other side we have our dough. So let's have a little status update of our dough. Yeah, he is starting to go. So another hour he'll be ready. In the meantime, I will tidy this place up. Yeah, sorry, don't have a professional system. We've got to make do whatever you can for videoing. I'm gonna clean this place up and get ready for the next part, which is preparing your dough and making dough balls. So it's been about 2 hours since this dough was made, and I hope to see a significant rise. I can see already it's at the top. It's stuck. So that's a good rise. All the air is in there, all the bubbles have been made. What you want to try to do now is keep as many of these bubbles in there, because in the end those are the little guys that will give you that nice rise. So I'm just going to bite it to the top, so that when it comes out it's got a nice surface. And what we're going to do is, yeah, this was an old cutting board, I just cut it to length for pizzas. I'm going to just try to scrape them out without destroying the rise. I'm doing this with the wrong hand for the video. So, this is our dough. You can see significantly bigger. So what we're going to do is kind of just roll them out, and we're going to divide this now into 10 separate pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pizzas. That's good. I'm not sure how many people are here tonight, but everybody should get a slice. What is important is your dough balls. And now I'm gonna, basically this is the second rise. So you wanna fold them over so that you have a smooth surface on the finish. So you can see, and I just keep folding it in. Just pushing that in. I'm not kneading the dough, I'm just guiding it, and then give it a little twist. And that should just be hunky-dory. So that's the wall number 1. So I'd love to have a big pizza box where I can put all the pizzas in one, but unfortunately I never seem to remember the next day to order one. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing from the outside and tucking it in, so it constantly rotating in. So my fingers are inside, twist, push in, 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 twist, push in. And then give a good pinch to seal the ball. That's good. And then always put the pinch down. Yeah, if you have a pizza restaurant, they'll make it the day before or 2 days before. You can, like, 48 hours rest for it to really come together. But I find that after 24 hours, the dough is very dry. It's dried out, and it's not. You can't even use it. Ideally, you would like them now to sit here for 6 to 8 hours. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours is perfect. They'll be nice and fresh. They'll be risen, probably risen so much that they've completely expanded in their thing, but don't worry about that. Just stick them out. And I will show you later how we will make the Neapolitan base. But for now, vegetables are cut, sauce is made, base is done. Time to get ready to go to a party, I think. This is nearly 24 hours of a rise, and this happens to me all the time. You can see that if you wait that long, the dough balls last night were perfect, but these are the leftovers, so they sat all night, and unfortunately they've lost their dough ball shapes. But that's nothing to worry about. We're going to make a pizza from my kitchen. So this is my pizza oven. And if you really want to get serious about pizzas, you need one of these bad boys. You'll see why. But this heats up the oven till, no, that was just a preheat timer. So it's at 400 degrees inside, which is what you need for a good pizza. And inside you can see there's the stone, and above you have the grill. So I'll leave this open now for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes it's ready to cook on. So you just set the little timer to 2 minutes, full power. As you can see, it just takes 5 minutes for your pizza to be ready, which is brilliant. So, without further ado, let's make a pizza. So it's nice to have your ingredients about so you can just quickly use them. I'm going to take the dough out of the way. So I've got some chorizo, some ham, some salami, which I didn't use yesterday, but I'll use that today. A couple of sorts of cheeses, parmesan, mozzarella, and just normal base cheese. So if you're using base cheese, you want it to be as clean flavored as possible. Just a clean cheese, not a cheddar, not a. What I use is, I think this is, it's young Belgian, so it's young riped. It's not It's not old cheese, it doesn't have a powerful taste. So that forms the base. If you really want a cheesy pizza, then use that as your base and add some Parmesan on top, of course. We've got everything we need. So make sure your surface that you're working on is dry. A little label for your sauce. And a little bit of flour. I'm going to need a little bit more than normal today because of the moisture of this base. So what I'm going to teach you is how to make a Neapolitan style pizza. So there's our flour. Just dig in halfway between your dough balls. Yeah, these are quite old. So what you can do is make another ball, but forget it doesn't have to be perfect. So a little bit of flour on top just to stop it sticking. You want to use 3 fingers and press out the corners for your crust. And you can do a little bit of shaping here just to get it back to its original circular shape. So that's the crust formed, and then just dab away in the middle, start spacing it out. So now we're going to begin to stretch it, and I hope we still have the stretchiness that we had from yesterday. So you're just going to let it under its own gravity just sort of fall and keep a hold on the crust. That's working pretty well. You can see the elasticity. That's why you've got to dough this or knead this dough for a good 15 minutes. Okay, we're getting breakthrough. Then you want your pizza pan. And a little bit more flour in that, just so it slides off nice and easy. And then just put it with enough over the lip so that when you put it into the pizza oven it will catch. So you can see that it's just hanging over a little bit. So some mistakes I made when I started making pizzas. Less is more with pizza. Don't go nuts with the sauce. Just enough to cover. If you make a nice rich sauce, it will shine through. Wonderful. Just a young cheese. Minimal impact on your pizza. Now we're going to make a very simple pizza because the first pizza of the day is always the strange child. So base cheese, cover the base, happy days. This one's just going to be a plain salami pizza. Salami pista. Couple of blatches. Couple of leaves of good old faithful basil. Simple cooking. And then some mozzarella to give it that stringiness. Now you can buy fresh mozzarella. I do that sometimes depending on the pizza. But if you really want that stringy, stretchy, elasticy mozzarella, then get the grated stuff in the bag. It will give you what you want. The other stuff will just be quite runny and creamy. Also, when making pizzas, try to avoid buffalo mozzarella. Cow mozzarella is a lot more suitable. And then finally a little sprinkle of Parmesan. So let's get this badger on. So very gently lift it off and make sure you get your hand under the pizza at the front. Oh shit, it's ripping. It's ripping. No, it's stretching. And then gently onto your pizza stone. Now, I leave it here for a couple of seconds just for the base to start cooking a little bit. It slides a little bit easier. And there we go, one pizza underway. And then close her up, start the timer, Bob's your uncle. So yeah, Hawaii. Again, a little bit of flour. And then a second. Yeah, it's really lost its shape to these balls. But as I say, I recommend 8 hours, and then you don't tend to have this problem. So. Again with the fingers, 3 fingers, just push it all out, and then the middle you want to flatten. So it keeps all the air in the crust to give it a good hefty rise. And then just, yeah, stretch it out. But I'm not going to do that fully yet. I'm going to wait till my other pizza's done because I need the, maybe, no, I've got 2 tools. I can do it. So again, just stretching out the base. Fingering along the crust, letting gravity do the work. And I do recommend you learn how to flip it up in the air. Just in your hand, flip, shit. It's good for parties. But so you can see how elastic that dough is. It's wonderful. But I'm putting holes in it now, so I'm gonna. Now, you'll notice here there's a hole in it. Don't worry about that. Just take a little pinch, fold over, and seal. And that's good enough. Okay, our pizza is ready. Pizza number 1. So, this is the moment you've been waiting for. How does this pizza look? A bit more light. There you go. There you go. Now, that's a beautiful looking pizza. So we'll get her off. It's going to be difficult with one hand. Oh fuck, man down! Man down! Okay, we got our pizza, we got a free place, and we got our Hawaii. So back to that. You'll notice on your pizza base you start to get burnt stuff. Just okay. I recommend a wire brush and just take all that dirt off. And a little cloth just to remove the finer particles. Back on to, so grab the back, so the lip in your hand, and then drop. Give it a second or two just to wait. Well, pizza looks unbelievable. And then out she comes. Pizza number 2 is ready. And again, look at that. Perfect pizzas every time. So, I'm going to keep cooking. Still have another, this is the next one on, and still another 3 to go. So, I'll get back to you when I'm done. I couldn't wait until the final show. I had to eat some of this pizza. Look at this. It's really taken so long to get to this point, so I hope that I can help everybody just speed up their learning. Oh, so tasty. And the crust, thin base. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun. I have to admit, I love doing this. It's my favorite pastime before I started brewing beer. And yeah, look at it. It's just, you can't buy this in the restaurants here in Enschede, so you gotta make it yourself. But top pizzas out of the oven. But this one's going to be amazing. Not the prettiest shapes, but I don't care. Perfection is not the important thing here. Beautiful looking food, it's got a taste. So most of these actually are a little bit half baked, because I'm going to bring them over to my girlfriend's later, and we're going to sit with her sister and her boyfriend, put them back in the oven, heat them up, and enjoy a nice evening playing games. So, another day in Kotten Brewery done. This is just one of the craft things I like to get up to. But it's a homebrew Wednesday video. So, I'll do a little bit of brewing. You'll notice that my brewery, we got a last man standing here, but my living room is starting to look like a living room. I'm going to move the Keyser up here. Still stays here. Oh, it's a bit messy. I haven't been here all weekend. But the brewery is starting to become alive. And I've got both fridges in now. So these guys are ready to get some beer once I get this bad boy wired up. The panel is there on the floor. He's ready to go, or ready to be live tested. So yeah, a little bit of cleaning in this area, get things tidied up. And we get the brewery back up and running again. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. This is a Sunday for me, so it's going to be a happy pizza eating Sunday, but I will try to release this by Wednesday.